Hello, this is Jeremy Williams with JLA Realty Omni Elevate, and I'm going to walk you today on how to set up ShowingSmart, a showing service that's provided by HAR. So this comes with your membership with HAR, and it's how you can set up showings and how you can set up your listings for showings in the future. So we're going to walk through that process. It is free. There's nothing else. You don't have to have premium HAR. This is part of the standard service that you get when you pay your annual dues. So while this guide will focus mostly on showing smart for HAR members, if you are in another MLS system, they may have their own showing services. The key takeaway is understanding the importance of using a professional scheduling service that your MLS provides or that you may invest in so that you can manage those showings efficiently, protect your listings, and provide excellent service both to sellers and buyers agents. And so the big thing is that there's a lot of agents out there right now, and you've probably seen them where on the showing instructions it says call agent or call seller. And when you call that number, there's nobody there on the other end to set up that showing for your buyer. And in that case, the seller is losing out, and the buyer is potentially losing out on an opportunity because they were unable to get that showing scheduled. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to log into your HAR agent portal account. That's where this lives. So you're going to navigate to har.com on your web browser. You're going to click on member login and then put in your username and password. And it's the same credentials you're using for MLS access. So both of those are one and the same. You'll land inside your HAR dashboard where your member tools are accessible. And if you've forgotten for some reason your login credentials, you can always use the forgot password, or if you need to contact HAR support, you can reach out to them for immediate assistance. And the phone number is there, 713-629-1900. Just let them know you can't get in. So open Smart, you're going to locate the tools. So if you look on your HAR dashboard for the Showing Smart icon, it's typically found under your MLS tools or My Tools section of the dashboard menu. You're going to click on Launch, and this is going to open it up in your agent portal in either the same window or potentially a new tab, depending on how you have your browser settings. And at this point, you're now inside your Showing Smart agent portal, where you're going to be able to manage your showing requests, configure your listings, track feedback across your entire portfolio. First time you access Showing Smart, you may see a brief welcome screen or a tutorial that's going to walk you through how to use the app. Don't close that. It's worth taking that few minutes to go through and just watching it again. We're going to go through it today, but watch it again and watch the steps and the orientation that they provide so that you can be the expert on that tool. Setting up your agent profile. So before you can effectively manage any showings, you must configure your agent preferences first. So your access settings. So inside Showing Smart, navigate to settings in the top right corner of your dashboard, then click on agent preferences. Complete the profile, fill out everything. If there's a blank and they're asking you for something, fill it out. The more complete profile, the better. And then, of course, make sure you save your changes. Don't go through all that work and forget to hit the save button. What is required? You need to have your primary phone number. This is the one where they're going to be confirming those showing notifications. Backup phone number provides redundancy. So if you have a primary line that's unavailable, preferred contact method is optional. Choose between call, text, or an email based on how you want to receive those notifications when showings are set. Notification preferences, set when and how you want to be alerted about new requests, any of the cancellations or feedback. And then finally, your showing approval method, choose between auto approve, which requests are confirmed automatically, or manual approve. You get to review each request individually. So the pro tip here that I want to give you is that most successful agents start with manual approval to maintain that control, then switch to auto approve for specifically vacant listings or properties where sellers can be more flexible. And then you can adjust the setting per listing later. So you might have one that's set for manual approval because it's a vacant property. And then you might have one where you've got sellers that maybe have small kids and they need to make sure that, they're out of the home. And sometimes it takes a little time. So they want those you want manual approval. Step four, you're going to configure your listing. So you have to have a listing in order to be able to do this, but every listing requires its own configuration within ShowingSmart. Gives you granular control so you can customize those showing rules, the access instructions, approval workflows. So to get to that, you're going to go to listings on the desktop, or we're going to talk about the app here in a minute. Click on Manage Listings, select the specific listing that you want to configure, and then you're going to enter, verify all required information, and then again, make sure that you hit Save when you're done. So step five, so once you get everything on your computer, mobile is always great because as realtors, we're not going to have access to our laptop at all times. So mobile is great because it's faster response times. So while you can manage your showings through that web portal on the har.com website, the Showing Smart mobile app is strongly recommended. You can go to the Apple Store or Google Play Store, sign in with your HAR credentials. It's going to be the exact same credentials. So the key benefits of having that mobile app is you get instant push notifications. So you get immediate alerts for new showing requests, any cancellations, feedback submissions. You never miss an opportunity because you weren't at your desk. So, and you want to make sure those are turned on because a lot of apps you can turn on and off the notifications. Make sure you have it set that it allows push notifications. Direct communication, contact showing agents quickly through a built-in messaging, allowing you to clarify instructions, coordinate timing, or address any last-minute changes efficiently. The quick approval or deny. So it allows review and respond to showing requests with a single tap, even while you're at another showing or meeting with clients. Speed matters in competitive markets. So especially if you're out with other clients and maybe you have a listing and a showing comes up, instead of having to spend all that time logging in and looking at some platform, you'll be able to instantaneously approve or deny a showing directly from your phone. View feedback, read the buyer feedback immediately after showings conclude, giving you real-time intelligence to share with your sellers and adjust strategy if needed. So time saver agents can use the mobile app report responding to showing requests 5 times faster than relying solely on email notifications. Hot market speeds can be the difference between securing a showing or losing it to another property. So that goes back to that agent that goes in, they put, for showing call seller, for showing call listing agent. And in those times, you may be losing opportunities as a listing agent, and as the seller, you may be losing opportunities because it's hard to set up an appointment. What this does is create less friction, and that's what you want in this business is less friction. The quicker people can make decisions, the better it is for everybody. Step six, you're going to add your sellers as occupants. So navigate to the occupant settings inside, add a contact occupant to begin. Enter their contact details, so seller's name, primary number, and email address. Double check to make sure this information is correct because that's what the system is going to use to push the notifications or involve them in the process. Select approval role, choose a participation level, must approve. This is sellers confirms each showing before it's scheduled. Or receive notifications only. This is sellers informed, but showings proceed automatically. So again, that vacant property, the seller might not need to be the one that approves that. It's just basically schedule and go. Whereas if a house is occupied, they may want more control on determining whether or not that showing could happen at that time. Confirm addition. So save the occupant information. Your seller will receive an automated confirmation message, typically via text and email, acknowledging their addition to the system. So you got to make sure, again, choosing the right approval level. Discuss with your seller which option works best in their situation. Again, occupied homes more than likely are going to be a must approve, while vacant properties are going to be typically the sellers are going to be more flexible. And they may say, you know what, it's okay if we receive notification. We just want to know people have been in the home. Remember, you can have multiple occupants with different roles. For example, in a divorce situation, both spouses may need to approve the showing, or a tenant might need notifications while the seller has approval authority. Step seven, you're going to show up the set up the showing feedback. So number one, access feedback showings. You're going to navigate the feedback showings in the ShowingSmart dashboard. Customize your question format. Choose the questions you want to ask. While standard templates work well, you can add custom questions about a specific property. Just know that the more questions that you ask in that process, the more likely you're creating friction there for that feedback to take place. So, my recommendation is to keep it simple. The templates they have in there are pretty solid. Three, you're going to set response requirements. Decide whether responses are required or optional. Required responses increase your feedback rate, but it's going to frustrate agents. They may or may not want to give feedback, or the feedback may be that there is no feedback. So again, just realize that if you're creating more friction in the process, the more likely it is to cause frustration and maybe people that won't adhere to answering those questions that you ask. Most successful listing agents make at least the basic feedback questions required. Schedule follow-ups, configure automatic reminder messages for agents who haven't submitted feedback. Apply follow-up to 24 hours after the showing significantly increases your feedback completion rate. Yeah, another thing you could do there is after 24 hours, instead of relying on the app itself, is just to reach out and call that agent and ask them for the feedback, and then disable those follow-up messages. Enable auto send recommended. Turn on auto send feedback requests to ensure every showing automatically triggers a feedback form. This eliminates the need to manually request this form and ensures consistency across all your listings. And if you're out and about and you're busy that day, those are some of the things that you're just not thinking about. So setting up the auto send would be highly recommended. Why does the feedback matter? Serves for multiple purposes. It helps you identify pricing issues early, reveals concerns that might need addressing. Gives you talking points when you're talking with your seller each week. I know on Mondays, every week when I was in sales, that was my day to give the feedback that came from the showings over the weekend and the past week. Talk about market updates. Demonstrate your diligence and the market knowledge. Seller who receives regular detailed reports feel like they're informed and they're confident that you're actually doing something, that your marketing efforts are working. So feedback is an important part of the process. If you're not getting feedback from the agent through the app or in person, just let your client know that, hey, I've reached out a couple times through the app. It's automated, and I've reached out a couple times in person, and we're not getting feedback. So I just wanted to keep you informed. If they ever do give feedback, I'll give you up to date. But we're going to keep moving forward on marketing and selling your home. It's all about communication, folks. Step eight, you're going to test your setup. You're going to verify everything works before going live. After completing all the configuration steps, test it. Make sure that it works. Catch any issues before your listing goes live. The worst thing that could happen is somebody accesses or contacts ShowingSmart, and the instructions are wrong. Maybe you forgot to put in that there was an alarm system, or that they have a cat that's loose in the house and not to let them outside. You want to make sure that everything is tested and ready to go beforehand. So they do have some tools here for this. The preview mode. Click this as a buyer preview as a buyer's agent in your listing settings to see exactly what the other agent's going to see when they're requesting a showing. Submit a test request. Go through the entire process as if you were a buyer's agent scheduling an appointment. If you have your sellers connected to that, let them know that there's going to be a test coming through and how they should respond to that. And then confirm receipt. Verify that all notifications are received correctly and the approval workflow functions as intended. All right, so don't do this haphazardly. Set it up, test it, make sure your sellers, if you're the listing agent, make sure the sellers understand what they're receiving if you have them set up on notifications, or if they have to approve a showing. And that way they feel very comfortable when it goes live. All right, so here's the checklist. You receive the notification via your preferred method. So we talked about that earlier. Set up whether you want text, email, or an app push. The seller receives the correct approval request if you've enabled seller confirmation. Approval workflow works properly and the showing confirms or requires or appropriate action. Access instructions are clear and complete. There's no missing information. It's all there. Timing and availability rules are correct with proper blackout periods applied. So you can give blackout periods where maybe they don't want showings. Okay. So we'll go through some of that. Optional but recommended. Add showing instructions to MLS remarks. Where to add the instructions. Agent marks in MLS. This is the appropriate location for any showing instructions. Do not put these in the public remarks. Track rules prohibit including showing instructions in a public-facing remarks that consumers see. That'll get you a fine. So example language is ShowingSmart, schedule online, Superlock, Superbox, 2-hour notice required, sellers need confirmation. It doesn't need to be lengthy. Be very concise, be informative. Mention the scheduling platform, access type, minimum notification period, any approval requirements. This will, as a listing agent, it'll also allow protect your time by not getting all these calls asking for these specific things or that buyer's agent wondering why they're unable to go see this property. Keep it very clear, very concise, put in agent remarks. Best practices, update instructions on the regular. If showing procedures change, those need to be updated. Include your special considerations. If you have pets, occupied tenants, any specific needs, or has other unique circumstances, let them know. If your lockbox is not on the front door, let them know where the lockbox is. I've been on appointments where I had no idea that the lockbox was on the back of the gate to the side yard. So you just need to make sure that any of those type of instructions that are special or unique, those go in there as well. Emphasize professional showing etiquette. Consider adding a note about expectation, like lights on, lockbox secured, feedback required, or turn all lights off, lock all doors, those type of things. That's all I have for you for a Smart setup. It's not a very difficult setup process, but it is something that's important. Even if you don't have listings right now, just getting in, setting up your profile, becoming familiar with how to use this, it's going to make a big difference for when that time comes and you're ready to use it. So now you're ready to manage showings efficiently, keep your sellers informed, gather valuable market feedback. Remember the Showing Smart or whatever showing service your MLS provides is an essential tool for modern real estate practice. Protects your listings, respects your seller's time, and creates accountability, and enhances the buyer agent's experience. So take the time, again, go ahead and set this up. Try out the additional features, become comfortable with the basics and what you need to know to operate on a day-to-day basis. If you don't have Showing Smart, you probably have another showing service in your MLS that might be very similar. The concepts are going to be very much the same. Or if you're in an MLS that doesn't offer that, don't be the one that says call the listing agent or call the seller. Look at investing in a small amount into a showing service that can handle making sure that your showings happen and it's done in a professional manner. Again, if you get stuck on this, don't hesitate on contacting HAR support. They are able to assist you with this process. And that's all I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have any additional questions, again, reach out to HAR. They are the one that provides this specific tool, and they will be able to help get you on your way. So have a great day, and I hope you found value in this. Take care.